Hi guys. Okay, I don't even know who guys is. That's what's funny, is that I just thought of how neat it is that here we are on Twitter. We have all these people in our groups. We follow. Whatever. I don't even know how many I follow, but you always follow usually more than you have followers. Which I've actually started to think maybe about rethinking that, because if I follow certain people, then I can just see certain information, and my timeline doesn't get all clouded up. So those of you that are trickier than me will probably say, oh, you could do this, which sure, but I'd love to hear it. If there's another way to follow all those people, and that way I encourage everybody to follow everybody and to get supportive and come together as one. But I do think that as far as from the research standpoint and trying to keep things organized so that you can learn what you want to learn, and that you can you don't just have all this stuff all over your timeline to where you can't find bits of info that may be helpful to those that are asking questions. That's where I kind of struggle with it. So anyway, I'm going to post this in my little group on Twitter, because those are my people that I have just kind of in that group of like 48. I think they're mostly millennials. I don't know for sure, but I don't know who they are. But just kind of the general, when I would look at the flow of the group and kind of what happens in there. I know some of them, like B-Dubs, I think she's like 30, she said, or something, when we were talking about tripping acid in the thread, which blows my mind to talk about that in the thread. It's so funny because it sounds so bad. And I don't know what acid's made out of, but I'm kind of thinking, I've been really starting to think that I support legalization of drugs lately, but not anything that's not natural. Because I think the problem with drugs is manufacturing for sure. Being like manufactured and trafficked by underground and stuff like that, I think is just making it dangerous and making it to where then we end up with all these other things mixed in there, like fentanyl and I don't know what else that's not natural, that's really truly made, I think, by the cabal of the world to kill us, and to disable our children, basically, like mentally handicap our children to where they can't, to where they don't perform at the highest level that the Creator God intended them to function at, a lot higher level than that. So, but I think that God made drugs in the ground, like he made cocaine essentially, which I'm bringing that one up first just because I want to let you know like how this is a huge thing for me to say this, or even think for me to think it is just a huge thing. For me to say it now is not so huge, because I've decided I'm going to speak my truth because I'm comfortable with it and I know who I am. And so, I want to start off too by, I've said this a couple of times and written it a couple of times, but anything that I ever say, I don't mean it maliciously. I don't think that way. For whatever reason, I was made to just really not ever think that way. I guess if a guy cheated on me and then ghosted out on me or something, I would definitely turn into a vindictive, malicious bitch, and I've been known to do so. Like you've never seen, as a matter of fact, so I guess what I just said wasn't true. But as far as day-to-day going, and me sitting here talking to you and trying to just get excited about life and hope and share and stuff. I'm not, anything I say is never, ever meant to hurt anyone. I'm not racist in one single tiny bit of my body. I've gone through racist periods because of what I just said, relationships with men where, I'm completely attracted to Mexican guys and black guys. That's just the way I roll. But then, my Mexican boyfriend, my first boyfriend, cheats on me, and I decide, now I hate every Mexican guy there ever was. I didn't hate them. I love them because I love their personality. I love Mexico. I just love who they are. They're funny. They just laugh about everything. And I absolutely adore Mexican people, period. But, I love their attitude. But I went through a time where it was like I wouldn't have said a nice thing about a Mexican guy. I even really kind of drove a wedge between one of my best friends and I, because her daughter was born from her and her Mexican boyfriend. So now here's Kylie, who I absolutely adore. Never even crossed my mind that she was even, Latina. And I don't know, I also am not politically correct, so never do I mean anything by what I say that's not politically correct. But I always try to avoid any racial slurs, just because I don't ever want to be... I made a joke one time when I was young towards this kid on the bus, my friend and I were teasing him and calling him a beaner. And it turns out he was really upset. We were all laughing at the time, but he was really upset. He told on me and not her, which I don't know why. I guess she's prettier than me, but but so I learned from that even in just racial slurs like that, like beaner or the N-word or things like that, I just don't even say them in jokes because I just don't like them. I don't think they really serve a purpose. I don't even know. The cabal is the first thing that comes to mind now when I think of that. But I don't know where they came from, but I think they came from a person that liked to divide or was going through a period in time where they liked to divide. So the reason I decided to come on here like this is because I don't have internet anymore. This tablet that I have is really minimally, it's not like anything fancy, although I'm very, very thankful for it. My mom gave it to me, so I wouldn't even have it if it wasn't for the gift from someone else, But it doesn't, I hold my breath every day now because I've used it so much in the last week, or maybe 3 months, but the last week is when I really woke up. But I've used it so much that I keep thinking, man, if this thing goes down, I don't even have a phone. I've been using it. I use a phone app. If anybody knows a good phone app, I had to take it off of here because it was kind of like messing with some things, I think, and it was taking up too much room, so I took it off, and I've been communicating with some people on Facebook, but Facebook phone or whatever, and that's a free service. But if anybody knows something else that you could recommend that might have good quality or whatever, like that's the other thing about my group is that they know all kinds of stuff that, I used to think I was technically inclined. I still think I'm